A woman had sex with 1,057 men in 12 hours and earned millions. Another became a millionaire without taking her clothes off, being a virgin and Christian. A daycare teacher filmed explicit content in bathrooms where 3-year-old children used the toilet. And a Disney celebrity destroyed the income of thousands of sex workers in a single week. These are not clickbaits. They are real documented cases of people who crossed lines you never thought existed, all for money on OnlyFans. The record no one wanted to break. Lily Phillips, a 23-year-old British OnlyFans model, decided to do something no one had attempted before: have sexual relations with 101 men in a single day. We're not talking about an exaggeration for social media or clickbait. This really happened.
I'm Lily Phillips, and today I'm getting ran through by 100 guys.
The event was organized together with YouTuber Josh Peters for a documentary that went viral in October 2024. But the logistics behind this was a nightmare. Participants had to send applications with photo identification, pass health checks, and sign release contracts. The thing is that many canceled at the last minute, leaving Lily's team scrambling to fill the spots. On October 19th, in a secret Airbnb in London, what Lily called her personal fantasy began. Each encounter lasted exactly 5 minutes. Do the math. That's more than 8 consecutive hours without stopping. No real breaks to eat, barely time to shower between sessions. But here comes the part nobody expected. At the end of the day, when the cameras captured Lily after finishing, she was completely destroyed emotionally.
It's not for the weak, girls. If I'm honest, it was hard. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like...
The woman who had promoted this as something fun and empowering was shaking, crying, admitting it was much harder than she imagined. She said she only remembered the faces of 5 or 6 men out of the 101. The rest was a complete blur. But here's what's truly disturbing. Days after this emotional breakdown, Lily announced her next goal.
Now, this was just the warm-up, because in February, I'm going to be the first person ever to reach 4 digits of guys all in one day.
1,000 men in one day. Because apparently, when you cross certain lines for money and fame, there's no turning back. But Lily wouldn't be the only one to take these records to the extreme. What the next woman did makes 101 seem like a conservative number, when 101 isn't enough. Tia Billinger, known as Bonnie Blue, saw Lily Phillips's record and decided that 101 was for beginners. In January 2025, at a private event in London, she had sex with 1,057 men in just 12 hours. To understand the math, that's less than 40 seconds per person. But here's what made her different from Lily. Bonnie had a specific obsession that she constantly repeated in interviews.
I'd probably say like half of my sex count is from 18-year-olds.
Do you prefer that?
It depends, like I love taking their virginities.
Her strategy was to go directly to universities during Welcome Week, when 18-year-old students were just arriving on campus. She literally stood outside universities like Nottingham Trent, promoting her services.
As promised, I'm outside Nottingham Trent University, as I said I would, to pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks.
When journalists questioned her about specifically targeting young people who were technically children, her response was chilling. Bonnie had turned this into a financial empire. She was earning £600,000 monthly, which equals about $7.2 million per year. Her content was promoted as educational, supposedly teaching about consent and sexual preferences. But the reality was that she had created a content machine that fed off the inexperience of young people newly arrived at university. The thing became so extreme that Bonnie began planning something she called her personal petting zoo, a glass box where she would be tied up and the public could basically do whatever they wanted with her. That was the moment when OnlyFans said enough. In December 2024, the platform permanently expelled her for extreme challenge content. Overnight, she lost income of more than £500,000 monthly. The disturbing case. Michael Duvall seemed to be the perfect influencer. With 900,000 followers on TikTok, he had become famous for his shopping vlogs at stores like Marshall's and Ross. Harmless, entertaining content. The type of creator that parents wouldn't have a problem with their children watching. But in March 2025, something was uncovered that changed everything. Michael worked as a pre-kindergarten teacher at a daycare in Louisville, Kentucky. And during that time, he was creating content for OnlyFans using the school facilities.
Did go to the bathroom a few times and snap a nude.
We're not talking about an occasional photo. Michael admitted that he posted hundreds, if not thousands of times a day on multiple platforms, even during his work hours. His followers paid him $45 per photo. And when they asked him for immediate content, he complied regardless of where he was.
I had a lot of free time at work where I would post on those apps. I did go to the bathroom a few times and snap a nude.
The posts he uploaded had captions like, "I shouldn't be doing this here," with devil emojis. He used the fact of being at work as part of the content, fetishizing the situation without revealing that he worked with children. Subsequent investigations revealed that, in some videos, children's voices could be heard in the background, teachers discussing lessons, and the bathrooms clearly showed training seats for small children. The evidence was incontrovertible. He was creating adult content in a space dedicated to childcare.
It doesn't excuse anything, but at the same time, I hate when people call me names when I know it's not true, or people assume that I was doing stuff that I wasn't doing just because it was at a daycare.
When the scandal exploded, Michael published a 10-minute apology video. He admitted to being blinded by money and acknowledged that it was disgusting. But his defense was that he would have done the same at any job, that it just happened to be at a daycare. The daycare closed shortly after. Michael deleted the compromising posts and continues as an influencer, as if nothing had happened. No legal repercussions, no real consequences. Just parents wondering what else they might have missed while trusting their children to someone like that. When OnlyFans crosses the legal line. The previous cases were controversial, extreme, but technically legal. Stephen Bear crossed a completely different line, that of crime, and the consequences were devastating. Bear was a British reality TV celebrity, winner of Celebrity Big Brother in 2016. He also participated in The Challenge, where he met Georgia Harrison, with whom he had a toxic relationship that was documented on national television. Bear had a clear pattern: manipulation, infidelity, extreme narcissism.
A little cuddle from Georgia, a little kiss from Nanny. I want loads of girlfriends. Leave me alone.
In 2020, Bear had opened an OnlyFans account, but what he did next made him a sex offender. During a visit from Georgia to his house, the security cameras in his garden recorded an intimate encounter between both. Georgia didn't know she was being filmed. Bear not only kept the video, he uploaded it to OnlyFans and charged for it. He earned £2,000 selling Georgia's intimate content without her consent. When she found out and begged him not to publish it, Bear completely ignored her.
What am I gonna do, girls? I can't carry this on. I'm sorry to send you a message.
Georgia's reaction upon discovering that she had been violated in this way was heartbreaking. But instead of hiding, she did something brave. She renounced her anonymity as a victim and took Bear to court.
Because I tell you what, you're not going to be able to drink beer for a long time because you are going to go to jail for what you've done. I have protected you for so long, been so nice to you.
In December 2022, Bear was found guilty of voyeurism and disclosure of private images with intent to cause distress. The sentence: 21 months in prison, registration as a sex offender, and £200,000 in damages to Georgia. He lost everything: his house, his money, his reputation. Georgia Harrison, on the contrary, became an activist against revenge porn and received the MBE title for her courage. The message was clear: OnlyFans is not above the law. When teachers crossed the line, this 8th grade science teacher in Arizona was about to demonstrate how far economic desperation can drive a person. Samantha Peer didn't have millions. She had a teacher's salary that wasn't enough for her to survive.
I created content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money on the side to help pay for our basic necessities.
Arizona in 2021 was the 2nd state with the worst teacher salaries in the United States, only behind Washington, D.C. Samantha and her husband, also an elementary school teacher, had 2 jobs in education and still couldn't pay their basic bills. They had children to support and felt completely trapped financially. Under the alias Chloe Carter, Samantha created an OnlyFans account. To avoid being discovered, she blocked all users from Arizona. But then she did something that crossed a line that should never have been crossed. She filmed explicit content inside her classroom.
Looking back at the situation, I wholly regret creating the video in the classroom after school hours.
Together with her husband, they recorded at least one sexual video in the Thunderbolt Middle School classroom. They made sure it was after school hours with no students present, but they used the facilities where they were supposed to educate minors.
And I felt this was the only way that my family would be able to survive.
At the end of 2022, community members found the content and recognized the classroom. The scandal exploded immediately. On October 24th, 2022, Samantha was placed on administrative leave and resigned days later before being formally fired. Her husband was immediately fired from his elementary school. Students found out about the case, and some even recognized their own desks in the images. OnlyFans deactivated her account for violating the terms by having content in a school space. The real tragedy wasn't just that she had lost her career. It was that an educator, desperate to pay the bills, had turned the sacred place of learning into a pornography set. The virgin who made millions without sex. This 20-year-old in Tampa, Florida, was building an OnlyFans empire with a completely opposite strategy. Sophie Rain, whose real name is Isabella Blair, became a millionaire maintaining an unbreakable rule. She would never have sex, either on camera or off it. Sophie's story challenges everything you thought you knew about OnlyFans. She presents herself as a devout Christian and virgin. But in 2024, she earned $43.4 million. In just 18 months, she accumulated $82 million. To put it in perspective, she practically matched LeBron James's annual earnings without taking her clothes off completely. Her content is what she calls bikini-suggestive lingerie level. Swimsuit photos, makeup videos, walks. Nothing explicit. She systematically rejects requests for content with men, which she says are the most frequent. Multiple companies have offered her seven-figure amounts, more than $1.5 million, to lose her virginity on camera. Her response is always the same: I will never make content with a man. But here's what makes her unique. Sophie grew up in extreme poverty. Her family was completely dependent on government food stamps. We grew up paycheck to paycheck. We had no money at all, she says. She worked as a waitress for minimum wage before being fired when her boss discovered her OnlyFans account. What confuses people the most is her religious justification. She virtually attends services at her church in Tampa and maintains that the Lord is very forgiving and He put me here for a reason. When questioned about the contradiction between her faith and her work, she responds, I talk to God every day, and I really believe He's proud of how far I've come. She has a benefactor who has sent her almost $5 million in tips since November 2023. A single fan, communicating daily about completely casual topics. With that money, she bought a mansion, a 2024 Porsche GT 3 RS, and retired her parents by paying off their debts and buying them a new house. In December 2024, she co-founded the Bop House, a collaborative mansion with 8 other OnlyFans creators that generated more than $50 million collectively. They described it as a Playboy mansion for Gen Z, where they maintain total creative control, the celebrity who broke the system. While Stephen Bear faced legal consequences, a former Disney star was about to demonstrate that money and fame can destroy entire ecosystems. In August 2020, Bella Thorne entered OnlyFans and in 24 hours changed the rules of the game forever. Bella wasn't just any creator. She was a millionaire actress with millions of followers who decided to experiment on OnlyFans. Her official justification was that she was researching for a film role and wanted to remove the stigma from sex work. The reality is that she saw a marketing opportunity and took it. In her first 24 hours, she earned more than $1 million. In 1 week, she had accumulated $2 million, breaking all platform records. But here's the problem. Bella had hinted that she would publish completely nude content. When subscribers realized they were basically paying for the same photos she uploaded for free on Instagram, things exploded. Refund requests were massive. Subscribers felt scammed. But the worst part wasn't the refunds. The worst part was what happened next. OnlyFans, facing a financial crisis from the massive refunds, implemented immediate changes: $50 limit for pay-per-view content and $100 for tips. These limits didn't exist before Bella Thorne. For a creator who depended on tips of $200 or $300, This was devastating. For someone who sold personalized content for $100 or more, it was the end of their business model. Bella Thorne, with her publicity stunt, had drastically reduced the potential income of thousands of sex workers. The reaction was immediate and fierce. Professional creators saw her as what she was, a privileged intruder who had damaged their livelihoods for a marketing campaign. On social media, they called her insensitive and destructive. Bella eventually issued the public apologies, saying her intention was to bring more eyes to the platform so others would earn more. But the damage was already done. The policy changes remained, and thousands of creators had to completely restructure their income strategies. The lesson was clear. When you have privilege and money, you can destroy others' livelihoods without even realizing it. Each of these cases shows something different about how far people are willing to go for money and fame. Some found wealth, others lost everything, some ended up in jail. But there's a common pattern. They all started thinking they had control of the situation. They all believed they could establish their own limits, and they all discovered that in the pursuit of easy money, those limits become increasingly blurred. OnlyFans promised empowerment and financial freedom. For some, it fulfilled that promise. For others, it became a prison of increasingly extreme expectations. The question you should ask yourself isn't how far the next person will go for money. The question is, at what point do we realize we've gone too far?